Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Coin Lady channel. Everything happening in the world of crypto will be discussed. Since this is still a major event, however, I must begin here. And I was listening to the radio on my way to work this morning and heard more about it. Republicans have been warning against the new mortgage rule. Low-income borrowers will pay less for mortgages after a rule change takes effect on May 1. To make up for the lost income, they will continue to pay more than those with good credit, albeit at a lower rate. Those with credit scores of 680 and above may pay only $40 more each month for a mortgage of $400,000. The biggest price increases would affect first-time purchasers who put down between 15 and 20%. It appears that the world we grew up in has been turned on its head, and everything you were taught is suddenly incorrect. And there are many reasons why this is incorrect. Give it some thought. You probably went to the workplace. You made the correct decision. You maintained your financial house in order by always paying your bills on time. Suddenly, you're being punished. However, if you decide to stop paying your bills after you've quit your job and seen your credit score plummet, you'll be rewarded. If that's true, then how? A positive aspect of this is that pro-crypto politicians are also pushing back. Davidson and McHenry. They recognize the error of their ways. Actually, they are defending the interests of ordinary Americans on the battlefield. They are also working to ensure that crypto innovation flourishes in the United States. And it's good to see that someone is pushing back. If you have a cryptocurrency wallet in 2024, Elizabeth Warren wants the police to come knocking. Honestly, I hope this would just go away, but it seems it won't. Elizabeth Warren, a senator from Massachusetts, proposed legislation in 2022 that would mandate compliance with bank anti-money laundering regulations for Bitcoin wallet providers. Not cryptocurrency markets, but rather cryptocurrency wallets. Senator Roger Marshall of Kansas signed on as a co-sponsor of her bill. Warren and Marshall want to revive that discussion on Capitol Hill this summer, and they've recruited supporters from the police community to help them. It's likely that federal prosecutors and law enforcement officers will continue to back the bill. Each piece of legislation that leans in a single direction would increase monetary monitoring. If they had their way, the Department of Justice could access our individual bank and credit card account information at will and without a warrant from a centralized database. That's why CBDCs are also a target of their advocacy. According to the Warren bill, developers of crypto wallets applications that store your private key would have to register as money services businesses and be subject to the same regulations as traditional financial institutions. I have repeated myself numerous times. All she worries about is that we're paying our taxes and that she knows how much crypto we have. And there are many reasons why this is incorrect. They are meant to be working for me and you, we pay their salary, but instead they are working against us the whole time. We watch these politicians enter office and suddenly become extremely wealthy for whatever reason. They plan to enrich themselves at the expense of people like me and you. During the banking crisis, lawmakers should not be dealing in bank stocks. Said person is Elizabeth Warren. When it comes to sensitive material, friends don't let friends deal. These politicians have used insider trading and the stock market to amass huge fortunes for themselves. Even so, that was also something that had to end. In the United States, anti-crypto politicians, according to Fred Thiel, CEO of Marathon Digital, are going to face a significant voting bloc. I now believe he is completely correct. One of the obstacles they face is the widespread enthusiasm among younger people for cryptocurrencies and other digital assets. What's interesting is that while cryptocurrencies and digital assets weren't traditionally a divisive political issue, that's starting to change. Democrats are increasingly opposed to cryptocurrencies and digital assets, while Republicans appear to be supportive of these developments. They prefer not to use the standard banking mechanism. And I predict that this will affect some of those anti-crypto politicians in the long run. As on Thursday, SEC Chairman Gary Gensler posted a new investor protection video to the internet, where he continued to express his displeasure with the crypto industry and warn against companies dealing in digital assets that violate securities rules. In front of Congress, he made a dreadful impression. At this point, he should have stepped down. Yet he claims this because these crypto platforms aren't following the rules. Your investments are vulnerable. according to Gensler's office hours videos. In the event of the platform's insolvency, these safeguards protect users' assets from becoming the platform's property and are implemented through measures including rulebooks and surveillance. Why was he protecting the small investors? For what reason was he looking at FTX? Not checking them out to make sure FTX was legit. He's now advocating for regular people to invest in the stock market. We can rule out that possibility. His videos give the impression that investing in cryptocurrency is illegal, discouraging potential new investors. Additionally, he's shaking the feeble crypto holders out of their holdings. However, we are aware of the widespread corruption. We have been investors in cryptocurrency for a long enough time to have witnessed what happened with Ethereum. The events with FTX and the ongoing enforcement efforts in the crypto industry are plain to see. It's so absurd that it's laughable. There's no denying that Gary has to leave. The head of digital assets at JP Morgan shared the company's plans to tokenize conventional financial instruments. Tokenization, in our opinion, is the next big thing in conventional finance. When compared to public markets, private markets including private credit, private equity, and private real estate are significantly larger but much less liquid. That's a vast gap to consider. I wonder what other crypto startups Gary will go after now that JP Morgan is interested in tokenization to slow them down and give JP Morgan a head start. We'll just have to see what happens. To safeguard Americans' digital possessions, Representative Zach Noon has introduced legislation. That's why it's no surprise that digital assets are rapidly becoming a mainstream means of exchange. I will work to guarantee equal opportunity and safety for all U.S. citizens. All Americans' liberties will be safeguarded by this bipartisan legislation, while the United States is better prepared to deal with security threats and stop the laundering of illegal funds. To protect digital assets over the long run, we need to accomplish both at the same time. Despite the occasional negative connotation, the cryptocurrency industry is here to stay, and as a result, lawmakers are likely to introduce more and more bills related to cryptocurrencies in the future. However, it appears that this bill has some merit. Is Eric Warner, the SEC's new sheriff in Texas, a crypto-hating zealot? Yes, he is, because Gary Gensler dispatched him. Fort Worth's new sheriff in the SEC is Eric Warner. Warren has extensive knowledge and experience in the areas of crypto regulation and enforcement. What does his appointment mean for an area that is actively seeking to encourage innovation? What the Lone Star State is doing down there is great. You should know that they're also attempting to develop their very own gold-backed currency. There must have been a purpose why Gary sent him down there. The cause for this will likely become clear in the coming weeks. He's present. It's hardly a coincidence that he's present. The executive director of the FCA claims that cryptocurrency has shed its image as a symbol of discontent with the status quo. When I initially started dabbling in crypto, it seemed like an act of defiance against the establishment simply to invest in it. Although cryptography has evolved since then. We can now foresee how certain cryptocurrencies, like XRP, will be linked to all of the world's central banks. We also learn how XLM is helping the unbanked in the real world. Every cryptocurrency serves a different purpose, but these days, crypto isn't about challenging the status quo or rebelling against the system. The movement is now integrating into mainstream culture while maintaining its decentralized nature. But, the idea that you were doing something wrong when you bought cryptocurrency is probably what made it so popular in the first place. You're investing in a crypto that has a real-world application and practical value, thus it's a secure bet. The days of someone recommending a certain cryptocurrency on a viral video on YouTube are long gone. By Friday, it will have unquestionably multiplied by a factor of 1,000, making you instantly wealthy. That plan was doomed to fail from the start. Perhaps it did for some. In the past, I had a habit of losing money, but I've since learned and discovered that many wonderful people also hold crypto and that we all benefit from sharing our knowledge and experiences. I'd be lying if I said I knew everything. I post videos on here in an effort to keep you encouraged and motivated to finish the race. In the end, I hope you strike it big. You guys, I really want to strike it big with all of you. On the other hand, I suppose I'd like to keep you entertained. In addition, I'm eager to share the most recent developments in this exciting field of crypto. then, you consider it an investment at first, and then it becomes a regular part of your life. That's the beauty of cryptography. Next, consider this. That means there will be 2 more elevation gains. During a prank phone call, Powell reveals something shocking about himself. So, 2 Russians dressed as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky have a conversation in which they joke about having a printing press in the basement and perhaps establishing a Federal Reserve Bank in Kiev. They also discuss inflation and the Russian central bank. But then Powell said he thought he was going to talk about increasing interest rates, and he did. But the jokes about a printing press in the basement aren't funny because, well, inflation happens when people start printing money. Many citizens in this country feel the effects of inflation every time the government prints more money. Some people just can't seem to get by. It's amusing, though, that he fell for their ruse. But this is the same guy whose job it is to reduce inflation while protecting the interests of ordinary Americans and maintaining the stability and value of the dollar. As much as he tries to bring inflation down, this country cannot stop spending, thus he has been failing all along and will continue to fail in the future. That's why buying cryptocurrency is a smart move. When the US dollar's value plummets and inflation soars, crypto will take off, and when it does, you and I will be among the very wealthy that it has the potential to enrich. But I'm going to end this video here. Please accept my gratitude for tuning in. Thanks to everyone who has seen my videos. Please like and subscribe as always. See you later, bye.